Okay. Different day, different truck. I know, it's a little crazy. But I have 2 trucks. I'm sorry. It's the thing. I'm working on it, okay? Ooh, a little icy. Okay. This thing's in my way. Are we recording? Yeah, we're good. Alright, I'll spare you the singing this time. Maybe. Alright, this is the deal. I am driving to Bend to sell the camper off of the back of this truck. And that's a little bit painful. It hurts, not gonna lie. But for reasons I'm not gonna get into right now, I need the money. And so I'm going to sell a camper, and then I'm gonna sell one of my 2 trucks. I'm not entirely sure which one yet. That will also be painful. First world problems. Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about about the singing that I was doing in that other video, and I hope my mic is getting me. Okay. Well, there's some things that I've been thinking about since then, and I never ever get done with a video and think, oh yeah, nailed it. I said exactly what I wanted to say and conveyed everything that I wanted to get across. It just never happens. So I'm always left with things where I'm like, yeah, I should have talked about this. And I guess what I want to talk about right now is just a little bit bigger picture stuff. Like why I'm interested in something like singing or dancing or any other art form. This is so weird, but I'm finally starting to understand what art is. And that's, I'm embarrassed to say that it's taken me a long time to just start to actually understand it and understand, I guess, why we need it. Now, I know there are, a lot of people that have that don't identify as artistic, and maybe there is such a thing as an artistic person versus a non-artistic person. But I think I'm going to, at least for the sake of this conversation, can you call just a monologue here a conversation? Anyway, I'm going to assume that everyone has emotions. That's fair, I think. And emotions are just so powerful, and they have such an incredible effect on us physically and mentally, physiologically. And well, I'm getting more interested in emotions, and so I think it makes sense that I'm interested in art, because art is one of the ways that you can respond to your emotions, because it's hard to know what to do with your emotions. You're feeling something, you're feeling pain, or you're feeling love, and I don't think it's good to not do anything with that. And I've found that my lack of tools and metaphorical tools, my lack of tools and maybe I don't know if it's unwillingness or laziness to do something with those emotions, means that they cause me problems. Whether it's depression or anxiety, or making it so I don't sleep well, and I'm not as emotionally open, because if I'm not dealing with the emotions in a constructive way, well, then I'm probably suppressing them, and that comes with its own, baggage. And something that I've found, when I am feeling more emotionally open, when I'm able to allow some of my emotions to exist and to manifest, I feel better. I feel stronger, maybe more capable. I don't really need to number them out. Maybe even powerful. Like, I feel like it's an energy source, and I feel like that's a tricky word, because it sounds woo-woo, and maybe it is. But I've had times when I'm very aware of my emotions and able to face them, that I find, oh man, I feel like I have a certain power and energy, that if I could hold on to that, or if I could tap it a little more easily, then I could do things that require someone to be emotionally mature, or emotionally skilled, I guess. Okay, now maybe you're wondering, all right, what the hell is he talking about? What does that mean? And I'm just going to wing an answer here. Well, to me, what that means is there are people that are very aware of life. They're self-aware. They're aware of what is magical about life, and what is just how crazy and unique and temporary life is. And I think that knowledge gives them purpose and gives them drive to do things that are great and meaningful, and have a positive impact on other people in the world. And I look up to those people, because they've done something special with their time on Earth. And I see that then it gets a little tricky, because I want to say then, what I was about to say is like, and I want to do something special with my life. And that's tough, because I feel like that's an egotistical thing to think. Like I could, or that I should, or life isn't meaningful unless you do something great or something. That's probably a recipe for some pretty serious unhappiness when that doesn't pan out. Comparing yourself to people that have done magnificent things or something. But anyway, putting that aside, I want to be more emotionally open with myself, with the people that I love. I want to be able to channel my emotions into something good. And if someone doesn't have the skill set and tools to do that, to channel emotions into something good, then I think that it can be destructive for them and for people around them. That it can turn into internal turmoil. It can maybe turn to, bitterness or resentment. And I don't want that, obviously, for myself. I don't want it for anybody. And so I want to explore ways that I can take what's inside of me and make something beautiful and unique and helpful. Because I want to be all of those things. And I want my existence to be those things. But I'm starting to appreciate how difficult it can be to get yourself to do that. And some of those reasons that I've identified for myself would be I'm scared, and it's hard work, and I don't want to do hard work. Just kind of inherently, it's sort of like, oh yeah, you have to actually work for that. And the work isn't just kind of the literal work, although there'll be that, but it's the emotional work. It's not easy digging deep and pulling something out of you that is important and personal. That's inherently hard, and in fact, it's the difficulty and pain of that process is a requirement to do something that is meaningful to you. And so I need to really internalize that truth and remember that when it is hard and painful, that okay, that means you're on the right track. Because something that is really good and meaningful to you will, by necessity, I think, be painful and scary. It's a hard place to go. And man, just being aware of that, and then seeing how I have failed to face it. I've failed to stand up and do it. Just do it. I'm struggling for the words, but really, just to do it. To accept that it's painful to put yourself out there, and there's kind of a nuance there, and it's not just putting something out, it's putting yourself out. And even just knowing yourself, I'm appreciating more and more that is difficult, that you can't just assume that you know yourself. My life, my daily life, is relatively easy. I'm not struggling. I'm not suffering. And I think those are times when you get to know yourself. And so if you're just kind of going through your day, living your life, collect your paycheck, buy your new toys, just kind of going through the motions, well, I don't think you know very much. I don't know very much about myself having done those things. Those aren't the things that teach me about myself. And, well, I want to know myself better. And I want to use that knowledge and experience to make art, I guess. I think that's what it comes down to. That I want to create beautiful art that is that's about bringing myself out and expressing my emotions about the things that inspire these emotions in me. Oh man, it's so funny to just ad-lib this stuff, make it up here. I'm struggling. There are things that are important to me and that give me an emotional punch, and I want to do something with that. I don't want to shy away from it, and that is the overwhelming instinct in a lot of ways. It's to put it away because it's painful and difficult to actually do something with it. So, when I was singing in that other video, and I was doing so in a joking manner, I was doing it that way because partly because I'm embarrassed by my lack of skill, and partly because of the fear of putting something that is genuine of my own out into the universe. And it's scary because it means you're vulnerable. And what I mean by that is that the closer to your true self that you are, the more vulnerable you feel. Because we put up this public facade, and that public facade, I'm not going to say it's always bad. We do it to protect ourselves, but it has a downside, and that is we get so good at it and so used to it that it becomes our new self, and we don't have a good way of accessing our actual, genuine, vulnerable self. And so even though when I was singing, I was doing it in this joking manner, which, protects me and doesn't expose my vulnerabilities as much, even though I was doing it that way, it was still maybe a useful stepping stone for me to be able to continue down a path that leads me to greater access to my personal self and my actual true passions. Because that's why it's hard to do things that you're passionate about, because that requires that you know yourself in that vulnerable way to know the things that you're passionate about. And for some reason, I was kind of trained into this way of being that prevented me from really feeling passionate about things. And I think that it was related to not wanting to seem too passionate. God, I'm struggling. Why? It's like how the quintessential or stereotypical cool person, the thing that makes them cool is that they're cool. They're just like nothing phases them, including their own passions. Like they're just kind of like, oh yeah, this is cool. I'm just, I don't get too worked up, either the good or the bad. They're just like, yeah, I'm cool. And for some reason, to the little kid Dylan, that seemed like what I should aspire to. Almost the AntiPassion. feeling I need to adjust my exposure here. It's getting brighter. See how that goes. I'm also like trying to hold my seatbelt off of the microphone that's right there. So anyway, it's growing up. I thought I needed to be cool, and that if I was really, really excited and into something, who knows, maybe I'd get made fun of, or called a nerd or something, and so I didn't want to let people in to the things that moved me. And that's just horrible. What a stunting influence that is on personal development. And so now here I am, I'm 36 years old, and I'm starting to become aware of that. So now I'm aware of it more, and I want to go through a process now of helping to pull myself out of it and expose myself to experiences that facilitate that. And those things are inherently painful, and sometimes that pain is just in the form of I'm embarrassment, doing something that causes me to be extra self-conscious and to be worried about what other people think. And that's what it comes down to, just a whole lot of anxiety about what other people think. And that is the reason why I haven't been making art, why I haven't been pouring myself into something that really speaks to me in my existence and gives my life some meaning. It's because I've been afraid of what other people think. So I want to protect my poor, vulnerable self. And so I do things that feel safe, that I think might make other people either not notice me, or if they do notice me, think, oh yeah, ready, just kind of, cool, whatever, he's fine, not special or different or trying to be unique or anything like that, like kind of just disappear. Starting to really dislike that way of being where I'm afraid of doing something. Because I want to do things. And I want to do good things. And I want back when I did my beach grief video, I said some things that were good there that came out kind of spontaneously. One of the things that I expressed was that I wanted my life to be worth what it costs, and I think that's a good way for me to think about it. Just that a life costs. There's a environmental, social, whatever. There's a cost to living a life that things on the outside of you are paying for. Other people, the environment, I consume a lot. Especially as an American. I live a very rich life. I consume a lot of resources, especially relative to average. So my life costs a lot. And I want it to be worth it. I want the universe to be glad that I existed. Is that a weird way of saying that? I want to be a net positive influence. And I want my kids to see me doing that. I need to walk the walk. Still really bright. I think that's it. I've rambled enough. It's funny how these things kind of come out a little easier when I'm driving. Driving is just good for thinking and for talking. Whenever I get in the vehicle, say with my wife, all of a sudden we've got more things to talk about, and we're able to talk about important stuff or fun stuff, and it all flows a lot easier. Thanks for hanging out, listening to me. Maybe you're able to relate to some of this. Anyway, I appreciate being able to talk about it. So, all right, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.